Hello and welcome to Midweek 13 predictions for the Championship. Before we get into it, massive thank you for the recent support on last time's video. Almost 400 views at the time of recording. That's mental. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Also, drop a like. If we can get 20 likes, that'd be class. I don't usually set like goals, but could make a start of it now. Anyway, let's get into these predictions for the midweek games, Midweek 13 for the Championship. We start off with Huddersfield versus Cardiff. Last season, these two sides were down at the bottom of the Championship. This time, they both want to finish, of course, a bit higher. And at the John Smiths, it's going to be a tricky game for both sides. Of course, Cardiff still without a few of their big players, including Aaron Ramsey. Of course, Huddersfield have just got their first win under Darren Moore, no longer known as Darren Draw. In this one, I do think the hosts will get their first win of the season. Second win under Darren Moore. God, can't get my words out. They're going to win 2-1 here. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we go to the Den. It's Millwall versus Blackburn. By the time I uploaded last time's video, I didn't get to explain the news that Gary Rowett was sacked from Millwall. To be honest, I didn't see that one coming. He always gets Millwall towards the playoffs, never finishes in them, which is, of course, where Millwall want to be aiming for. Yes, it wasn't the best start to the season, but, you always back him to pick it up, so I was a little bit surprised on that one. Neil Warnock's rumoured to be interested in a job. We'll have to wait and see who gets appointed as Rowett's successor. They take on a Blackburn side who have been picking up their form of recent. They just got a win at home against Cardiff 1-0. In this one, I think Blackburn get the 3 points on their travels, 2-1 at the Den. Norwich versus Middlesbrough next. Now Norwich last time out, of course, bottled a 2-0 lead to Leeds, a loss 3-2. As for Middlesbrough, a late winner against Birmingham. In this one, I'm backing Borough. It's hard to back against them, and because Norwich bottled against Leeds, there's no reason really for me to back them. 2-1 Borough, but I wouldn't be too surprised if this one ended a draw. Moving on to Swansea hosting Watford. Now, Watford have an awful away record. In general, of course, last season, Swans beat them 4-0 at Swansea.com Stadium. I think that was our last game of 2022. In this one, you just know Watford are probably going to get a win. I'm not backing it, though. I thought against Leicester at the weekend, we weren't too bad, to be honest, and that performance probably beats most of the teams in this league. I was very happy with it, just shows how good Leicester were. In this one, I'm backing Swans for a 3-0 win. Having saying that, though, I'm not too confident in it. Maybe I'll take 2-0 or just a 1-0. Moving on to the King Power, Leicester versus Sunderland. Now, having seen Leicester play, it was quite interesting, to be honest. The goalkeeper, cannot remember his name. He is a bit dodgy with the ball at his feet. I think if we were on another day, probably could have punished them for a few of their errors. He likes to get up the pitch a lot, in and out of possession, and then just rush back into his goal last minute. Leicester City as well, they always play very close together, the thirds. The defenders and the attack is only metres away. Vardy dropped in, he was in the back line at sometimes, and then he was in the attack. The next, which just shows how close they were playing together in possession, trying to break us down in that block. In this one, though, against Sunderland, who lost to Stoke City last time out, I think they will lose again here at the King Power, 3-0 to Leicester City. Off to West Brom next. The visitors are QPR. Now, Gareth Ainsworth, I don't think it'll be long before he gets sacked. I can't see him lasting till Christmas, if I'm honest. As for West Brom, a decent draw against Plymouth earlier on, of course. Plymouth, one of those sides who, of course, coming up last season. Not everyone's got points off them so far this season, so a point is definitely a good point for West Brom in that one. In this one, I think they'll get the 3 points and another clean sheet. 1-0 to the Baggies in this one. Next up, it's Wayne Rooney's Birmingham City taking on Hull, who of course lost in the dying stages to Southampton last time out. As Blues, they also lost in the dying stages to Middlesbrough. In this one, Hull have really impressed me so far. If Birmingham still had Eustace, I probably would have backed a draw here. They haven't. And I haven't seen enough of Wayne Rooney after just one game. So I'm going to back Liam Rossinia's Tigers for a 1-0 away victory here at St Andrews. Next up, we go to Ashton Gate. Bristol got a win at the weekend there against Coventry 1-0. As for Ipswich, their Friday night game against Rotherham was postponed, of course. So we don't know if they would have slipped up there or whatever. Moving on, in this one, I do think I got to back them for the win and the 3 points and a 2-0 win. I'm just waiting to see when we're going to see Ipswich fall off. I have a feeling it's going to come. I just don't know what game. It could be a shock win here where Bristol just pick up a point and knock Ipswich's confidence a little bit and then see them starting to slip down. I can't see it happening in this one though. 2-0 to the Tractor Boys. Off to Home Park next, it's Plymouth hosting Sheffield Wednesday. A massive game for both teams now. They both need to be aiming to win this one. Plymouth been in a little bit of a rut recently. Sheffield Wednesday been in a rut all season. Both sides needs to win, as I've said. In this one though, I think Plymouth will put in a huge performance. 4-1 win at Home Park in this one. Preston host Southampton next up at Deepdale. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw for them at the weekend. As for Southampton, of course, winning later on at Hull. In this one, I'm going to back Southampton for 4-1 victory away at Deepdale. That's back-to-back 4-1 victories I'm predicting. Moving on to Rotherham, they host Coventry City in this one. I do think this will be an interesting game, and I'm going to back the draw here. I think the Mellors will grind out a result against Coventry, who haven't been that good so far this season. I do expect them to pick up as the season goes on, but at the moment, they're nothing too special for what I've seen. 1-1 in this one. And the final game to predict is at the Bet365. It is Stoke hosting Leeds United. Leeds coming from 2 goals down to win that one at Norwich. Not an easy place to go. And even harder going 2-0 down, of course. And, you know, that's the sign of, you know, winners. Maybe not champions this year with Leicester in the league. I think anyone that finishes above Leicester will win the league. But a sign of a team that will get promoted under Daniel Farker. Of course, Stoke just got a win against Sunderland. I don't think they'll follow up here. Leeds 5, Stoke 1 in this one. Well then guys, hopefully you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, please do drop a like. As I say, 20 likes would be much appreciated. And subscribe to the channel. We are on 1,440 last time I checked. Can we get to 1,500 by Christmas? That's the goal. That would be class. Like, yeah. So, hopefully we can, and I'll see you in the next one very soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.